if you if you want to be understood, entrepreneurship is probably not the route for you. Notoriously, entrepreneurs, guys, are misunderstood. It's just who we are. And like a good artist, they're appreciated after their time. Do you know what I mean? So there's as I've been spending a lot of time studying this, and the research we've done, the empirical evidence actually shows us three things. The first is that if you can survive what we call 999, the first 999 days of your business, you're probably going to make it. And that 999 days is about 3 years, give or take a few days. Just 999 days. So for those of you here with ideas as you're starting, those of you here who are running, you know that in that first 999 days, it's very, very difficult. Yeah? The reason is simple. It's because there's nothing there. You're building everything. See this building we're in. I love architecture, right? And I love buildings. But this building we're in is incredible, isn't it? Because we're all in it, and none of us here have a doubt of mind that it will hold us safely. Yeah, none of us here have thought about whether or not the things above us could collapse on our heads. The reason is because the foundation of this building is so well set. So the most important part of the building is the part of the building we don't see. That's so powerful. I'm going to let you guys think about it for like 2 minutes. I'm just going to let you guys I'm going to let you marinate in my wisdom. No, I'm joking. So when you build your business, the most important parts of building your business are the parts nobody sees. Nobody sees. I can tell you now that probably what I spend 80% of my time doing is the stuff you guys don't know about. It's completely quiet. And it's the stuff you'll probably never know about. But without that stuff, I can't do the magic. The magic can't happen, right? So where a lot of us lose it in that first 999 days, and I want you to remember it, is you've got to focus on building your foundation. That foundation is critical. Foundation is critical. Okay. Without it, it doesn't matter how nice that building is, it'll fall. When the rains come, it will fall. And so for each of us as entrepreneurs, that foundation is critical. And the foundation starts with you, it starts here. You can't build it unless you build you. Yeah? True story. For the first 7-8 years of my public speaking career, I had a pre-stage song. It was the same song every time I went on stage. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in a limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. You guys know the song I'm talking about? Yeah. Biggie Smalls, right? So I watched the Biggie Smalls movie when it came out. And there's a beautiful part in the movie where Biggie Smalls is talking to Puff Daddy. And Puff says to him, Biggie, we're going to change the world, G. We're going to change the world. And Biggie looks at him and says, you can't change the world if you don't change yourself. Yeah. So a business is the thing you leave for the world. It's a manifestation of you, your ideas, your creativity, your thoughts. But if you're not okay, it'll never be okay. And so a lot of us, and in my earlier days, I used to judge people. Now I've learned that actually judgment is weak. You rather exercise empathy, not judgment. Seek first to understand before you ridicule. I then started thinking about, I watch how we do things, especially as those of us who've just started in business, predominantly black people. And the reason is because we do come from a past where you couldn't own a business. Now we can. And we can own big ones, successful ones. We can kick ass. And then I started watching the things we do when we do own big ones and successful ones. And I was like, why do we spend our money this way? Why do we buy these things? Why do we gather at these places so that old men with bellies can get young girls without bellies? And then a few months later, the old man with a belly leaves the girl with a belly and finds another one. Shit. I'm on fire today. Fire. Blaze. So, remember that thing, build a foundation? Critical. The best way to build a foundation is go in here. Okay? So that's the first thing I just wanted to say. The second thing I want to say is, like building a building, you've got to build scaffolding, right? You've seen when buildings go up, they put up a scaffolding around it. And the scaffolding does a couple of things, but the main thing it does is it ensures that the people who are building upon the foundation are safe to build upon the foundation. Most of us here run businesses that just don't have scaffolding. So, if you're not in the business, it can't run. If you're not at work, there is no work. For those people, you're not really an entrepreneur. You're what we call self-employed. There is, although subtle, a critical difference. You see, the entrepreneur creates systems that enable him to remove himself from the business so he can be somewhere else. The self-employed person builds the business so that it can support usually a lifestyle. But absent of them in the business, there's no business. Notoriously over the past 25 years, especially us, this is where we've failed. This is exactly where we've failed. We haven't yet learned how to build the scaffolding so that this building can stand even when the engineers are not here, even when the architects are gone. And that all it needs is a few maintenance people to make sure that it's running. Okay?